Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Which verse is written there? So today reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter 60, text number 7. And we will read, because there is no purport for 7 and 8, we will read 7, 8, and 9. No. I pray to Srila Prabhupada and all the Vaishnavas that by your blessings I can say something meaningful. Bala Bhajanam Adaya Ratnadandam Sakikarat Tena Vijayati Devi Upasam Chakra Ishwaram Bala Bhajanamadaya Ratnadandam Sakikarat Tena Vijayati Devi Upasam Chakra Ishwaram. Nayam Vyajanam Naya Ratnam Dandam Saki Bhagarat Vijayati Devi Udam Chakra Ishwaram. Ala Vyajanam Adaya Ratnadandam Saki Garat Janam Hadaya Vidijaya Na Vijayati Devi Asanaka Ishwaram Alavyajanam Hadaya Virat Vijayate Devi Basam Chakra Ishwaram. Vaishnavi Malavyajanam Adaya Nadandam Saki Karat Vijayati Devi Sanam Chakra Vishwaram. Nadandam Vijayati Devi Upasanam Chakra Ishwaram. Bala of hair, of yak's hair. Yajanam, a fan. Adaya, taking. Ratna, jeweled. Dandam, the handle of which. Saki, of her maidservant. Karat, from the hand. Tena, with it. Vijayati, fanning. Devi, the goddess. Upasam Chakre, she worshipped Ishvaram, her master. Translation. From her maidservant's hand, Goddess Rukmini took a yak hair fan with a jeweled handle, and then she began to worship her master by fanning him. Everyone can repeat, please. From her maidservant's hand, Goddess Rukmini took a yak hair fan with a jeweled handle, and then she began to worship her master by fanning him. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadah Mahyam Tadatti Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pastyattirashatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I just wanted to mention something about this particular verse, which is, it says, Vijayati Devi. So, Vijayati, fanning this goddess. She's goddess, or she's the queen. She's the main wife of Krishna, the head of all wives. In Vrindavan, Srimati Radharani, who is inclined more as a Vama Gopi, she's liberal, meaning she chastises Krishna. So this whole chapter is showing why Rukmini is the queen. Because in Dwarka, the mood is a mood of reverence. This was established in a previous verse, one of these verses. Where it mentions Krishna. I looked at it the other day, like I didn't note it down. So anyway, it says he is the supreme. She understood Krishna with supremacy and intimacy. So because of that, her mood is the supreme mood. And of course, Satyabhama has the mood of Srimati Radharani. But that is not the main mood. She's extreme. In Dwarka, she's very extreme. So, and it says she took the fan from the hand of her maidservant, which means she was the only one that was fanning Krishna. Why would she be the only one? Sometimes we have 2 or 3 devotees. Sometimes Lord Vishnu has many devotees fanning him. Because just like we've entered into Damodar Mas, and we see that Mother Yashoda is very concerned that Krishna be fed in a certain way. It says in the very beginning of the 9th chapter that she sent away all of her servants. She gave them something else to do. So, because she was thinking, they don't know how to make the proper type of butter. And And therefore Krishna is going to everyone's house. Actually, the senior gopis, they came to complain to Yashoda, and she said, all right, I'll just keep Krishna inside. No, don't do that. No. Just, tell him not to steal our butter. But actually, they were enjoying it very much. And this is all orchestrated by Yoga Maya. So, in the same way, Rukmini, she's showing everyone how to fan Krishna, all the other queens. And so she took from the maidservant, no, you have to know how to do this. I know how to do this. So sometimes we find that in our temple, and sometimes it may create some apparent disharmony. One devotee, I want to do it like this, and somebody else, I want to do it some other way. But as Srila Prabhupada says, as long as the purpose is to please Krishna, then Krishna will be happy. And these little disputes, sometimes over service, they should be seen as spiritual. We should not become too disturbed. One time, I won't mention the name, one prominent acharya who was, not from ISKCON, but he was a friend of ISKCON, and then there was some controversy. So I was sent with some other devotees to try to speak with him to, work things out. And we had a big argument. And then at the end, he patted one devotee in front of me on the shoulder. He said, don't worry, these things always happen. Don't take it seriously. Because we're all trying to serve Krishna and please Krishna. That is the perfection of life. So these differences, they come from the spiritual world. It's not something that, sometimes we have the idea that everything will work perfectly and we'll have this utopian ISKCON where everybody is in harmony. But we are in harmony because we all want to please Krishna. We all want to participate in the movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But because Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are so great, Vaidurya. Krishna is compared to the Vaidurya stone, which is a very beautiful type of diamond that has so many facets, hundreds and hundreds, and each one of them gives a different color. So Krishna, and actually not only just a few things, but every one of us represents, every jiva represents a particular desire of Krishna that he will relate in this way. And there's something different in everyone's relationship. How many people can have such a personality that pleases, Eka bahunam yovidadati kaman. Krishna is the one person who can please everyone. And in a very specific, unique way. Every living entity. That is how wonderful Krishna is. And that is how wonderful the jiva is when the jiva is in Shuddha Sattva platform. Then we're actually serving Krishna by representing a particular desire of Krishna. And that's a great responsibility. So we should come to that platform as soon as possible. Not remain conditioned in this material world. So these are some, and then it says, Upasam Chakra Ishvara. But she worshipped Krishna in this mood. Krishna is Ishvara. We won't find that. To some degree, Chandravali and her followers, they see Krishna as great, but they don't see him as Ishvara. They see him as, we must serve him, we must please him in a respectful way. So there's a little more Aishvarya, some tiny degree of Aishvarya, but predominant in Vrindavan amongst the gopis is always, they sometimes chastise Krishna too, but they don't do it to his face. They do it like, why is Krishna going with Radharani? She doesn't know how to serve him properly. Who can understand? Sometimes we may think that way also. why is the guru favoring this person or that person? No. Just like in the case of Ramanujacharya, no, he had he had his disciple Dhanurdas, and he was a wrestler. I mean, it's a long story, but he was so desirous of serving Ramanuja because Ramanuja saved him. He was actually in the hands of a prostitute, always looking at her, seeing her beautiful eyes. And Ramanuja said, he saw that, he called him over. He said, why are you looking at her eyes? Oh, they're very beautiful. He said, if I show you some more beautiful eyes, will you accept that? Oh, okay. No. Thinking maybe, it's a little unusual that the Acharya is offering me this, he was thinking another lady maybe? No. Then he took him to Ranganath, no. And so he was saved. He was very grateful. And the Brahmins could not understand. Why is this wrestler he's always with our Acharya, and we're the Brahmins. And then they had some dispute. Anyway, it was a long story, but the point is, at the end of the dispute, that Dhanurdas came and offered all of his wealth to Ramanuja, everything, his gold, every possession that he and his wife had. And the Brahmins were fighting over some gamsha. No, who took my gamsha? No. And so then they realized why he was so great. No. So greatness does not depend on the hierarchy of, I'm a Brahman, I'm this, I'm that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Dasa Dasa Anudas. We are the servant of the servant. We were just discussing this with one devotee. If we talk about the pecking order, whose hierarchy, this one, that one, that one, no, we all know these positions. But the best position is to be in the last place. The first place and the last place. So, these are some thoughts on this verse. Now the next verse, I'll just read it quickly. Vachutam kanayati mani nupuryabhyam rajen kuliya balaya vajanagrahasta vastranta gudha kuchakunkamashonahara Vasha nitamba ditaya chaparadya kancha. Translation. Her hand adorned with rings, bangles, and the chamara fan, Queen Rukmini, looked resplendent standing near Lord Krishna. Her jeweled ankle bells tinkled, and her necklace glittered, reddened by the kumkuma from her breasts, which were covered by the end of her sari. On her hips, she wore a priceless belt. Purport. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti points out that as Queen Rukmini fanned her lord with broad strokes, the jewels and gold on her beautiful limbs resounded with her effort. Jiva Goswami makes some commentary, and he cites 3 verses from the Bhagavatam. I'd like to mention that. It's very interesting. Because he mentions that because she was fanning, so desirous of pleasing Krishna, Krishna was actually looking at her, and we'll see that in the next verse. So she was so beautiful, and she was fanning so hard that her whole body was moving. And the ankle bells, it's actually mentioned that the ankle bells were making a sound. And that sound was very wonderful, and Krishna was very pleased. Which means, just like when Yashoda Mai was churning the butter for Krishna, she was doing it with so much desire to please Krishna that her hair became loosened and the jasmine was falling from her hair, and perspiration was coming down, and her whole body was shaking in ecstasy. And she was singing beautiful songs that she herself had composed, and also songs that had been composed by great Brahmins. And Srila Prabhupada mentions that if someone is situated in Vatsalya Ras, they should meditate on this verse. So, of course, we shouldn't imagine, well, maybe I'm in Vatsalya Ras. Right now, we should be trying to be situated in Dasya Ras. Just trying to become a servant. And then the holy name and the Vaishnavas will reveal our eternal position at the right time. There was one devotee when I was brahmachari in Mayapur. He went to associate with one of the brothers of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and when he did that, he received the information that he was a peacock. And so he began running around in Mayapur. We saw this, running around like this, making peacock sounds. And after that, he left and he became a scholar. And then the last I heard, he was pumping gas in a gas station. So the peacock, from peacock to gas station attendant. So we're supposed to go the other way around. From gas station attendant, not peacock, to das anudas, and then in due time. How much time will it take us to realize our eternal relationship with Krishna? We can remember that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had his Mahapraharana Lila, he revealed himself for 21 hours to the different devotees. And at the end, Shiva said, "What about Mukunda?" And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Mukunda, no. He has one hand on my feet and the other hand on my throat." So Srivas was very astounded. How can this be? He said, "Yes, you see, when he associates with the Vaishnavas, he's touching my feet, but sometimes he associates with the Mayavadis, choking me. So I'm not going to see Mukunda." And Mukunda was listening, and he thought, "Oh, I'll just go commit suicide, go jump in the Ganga. Immediately I'll go jump in the Ganga. What is the use of living without Chaitanya Mahaprabhu?" But then Srivas implored, "Please, my Lord, you have to give him, he's your servant, you have to give him mercy." And the Lord said, "All right, after millions of lifetimes, I can give him mercy." So Srivas went to tell that to Mukunda. And when Mukunda heard it, he started dancing in ecstasy. "I only have to wait a few million lifetimes." Otherwise, the point is, how valuable is the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? That we should be willing to wait millions of lifetimes. Not that if I don't get this mercy within 6 months, I'm leaving. I'm going back home to Srimati Mata and Shriman Pita. And get their mercy, which will be, you work hard, take over my business. Go study. And not bad to study, it's not bad to take over the business. But as Krishna says, Yat anushmara yudya cha. Mama anushmara. Primero, first of all, we remember Krishna. We remember Krishna. Then, whatever we have to do, we do it while remembering Krishna. As Rupa Goswami says, "Iha yasya Hare dasye kamana manasa gira nikilas vasya vastasu." You can be situated in any position, but karmana manasa gira, you must offer all your activities. That's difficult. But manasa, you have to offer all of your thoughts. Not one thought about anything except for Krishna. That's a little more difficult. And Gita, everything you say, only glorifying Krishna. That's more difficult because everybody likes Brahmya Katha. Speak about this, speak about that. Otherwise, Facebook would not exist. Facebook exists to facilitate Gramya Katha, but devotees want to purify Facebook by speaking about Krishna. But still, I would say 99% is Gramya Katha. And devotees are interjecting. So, but why? So Rukmini, so Jiva Goswami says, why is she covering her breast? She actually doesn't want to do that. He mentions this. That's not her desire. She has become overcome by Krishna's beauty. No. It's overwhelming her. She's losing her perception of the external world. So Jiva Goswami quotes two verses to illustrate this. Why is this happening? This is 10th canto, 12th chapter, 44th verse. Itam sa prishta satu bhadarayanis tanshmarita nanta prita kilendriya. So what does that mean? That when Shukadeva Goswami was hearing about Krishna, she was speaking about Krishna, at one moment it says here, Smarita Ananta, Smarita Ananta. He had unlimited remembrances of Krishna. And what happened? No. Hrita Akila Indriya. He lost perception of the senses. And then, Krichrat Purna Labdha Bahirdrishta Shanai. And then it was very difficult to come back to external consciousness, but he had to do so. Why? Parikshit Maharaj only has 7 days. He can't get lost in ecstasy and then, sign out for 3 hours. And every moment is so valuable, he has to speak. So this is one example, and he gives another example, how one can become lost in Krishna consciousness. This is from the 10th canto, 29th chapter, text number 46 actually. Bahu prasara pariramba karala kuru, which means that Krishna, this is the actual verse that inspired Krishna to leave the rasa dance. Because the gopis had become proud. Because of this, he put his arms around them. And he was touching their hands and touching their waist and touching their thighs in Sthanapasana, touching their breasts, touching with his nails, touching gently, caressing their bodies, and then laughing with them and smiling at them. And because of that, they thought, wow, Krishna is absorbed in me. No, they were thinking like that. And so what happened? Krishna left. Of course, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami reveals something that is not revealed directly in the Bhagavatam. But actually it wasn't Krishna that left, it was Radharani. Because when he started, she could see he was doing this. And she said, why is he paying so much attention to these other gopis? She left, and then Krishna left. But it's stated that Krishna left in terms of all the other gopis. Of course, Radharani, immediately when she left, she began searching for Krishna. Because she was, anyway, this is a whole different subject matter. But the point is, they were so absorbed that they lost complete consciousness. In the last line, it says, Utambayam Ratipatim. Ratipatim is Cupid. He awakened Cupid within their minds. And they became bewildered. Well, this is all Yoga Maya. But Krishna is illustrating that we should never become proud. So, Rukmini, she was falling into this forgetful consciousness. And then she realized that the maidservants are standing around her and seeing her in a very unusual state, and therefore she covered herself and went back to her normal shyness. Otherwise, the point is that in the presence of Krishna, even she could not maintain her normal, sober service mood because he's so attractive and so beautiful. And this is illustrated in the next verse, which we will speak. Tanrupinim Shriyam Anantagatim Niriksha Nalilaya Ditatanor Anurupa Rupa Pritas Maran Nalaka Kundananik Shakanta Bhaktrolya Satsmita Sudham Hare Abhabhase. Translation. As he contemplated her, the goddess of fortune herself, who desires only him, Lord Krishna smiled. The Lord assumes various forms to enact his pastimes. And he was pleased that the form the goddess of fortune had assumed was just suitable for her to serve as his consort. Her charming face was adorned with curling hair, earrings, a locket on her neck, and the nectar of her bright, happy smile. The Lord then spoke to her as follows. So, of course, we know now Krishna will begin his, treating Rukmini in a way that she could not assimilate, she could not understand. So the purports. Srila Sridhar Swami has quoted an interesting verse spoken by Sri Parashara in the Vishnu Purana. Devatve devadehiyam manustyatve chaman manushi Vishnu dehan rupam vai karot yeshat manastanum. When the Lord appears as a demigod, she, the goddess of fortune, takes the form of a demigoddess. And when he appears as a human being, she takes a human-like form. Thus, the body she assumes matches the one the Lord takes. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti adds that as Lord Krishna is even more beautiful than the Lord of Vaikuntha, Lord Krishna's consort Rukmini Devi is even more attractive than the goddess of fortune in the Vaikuntha world. The queens of Dwarka, they experience rasas that are similar to the rasas of Vrindavan, to some degree. No. Even the very elevated rasa, which is called Prema Vaichitya. Prema Vaichitya means that when someone is together with Krishna, they're very fearful of losing Krishna. This Prema Vaichitya has its maximum manifestation in Srimati Radharani. She can be with Krishna and at the same time think that she's not with Krishna. Just like this is why Kurukshetra is considered by Gaudiya Vaishnavas that where the highest rasa is being exhibited. Because she's seeing Krishna, she's right there with Krishna, but she's feeling intense separation from Krishna. So, of course, one time also, she was actually sitting, sometimes it says she's sitting on his lap, sometimes sitting right beside him. But there was a bumblebee that was flying around her face. So some of the Sakis, they were fanning the bumblebee. And the bumblebee went away and they said that Madhava has left. No. And so she thought that Krishna had left. And she was on his lap and she's thinking, oh, Krishna left. No, that's her separate. But the queens of Dwarka, they also feel this sometimes. Their feeling is that I'm here with Krishna, but at any moment he will leave. And this especially became manifest, which is explained in detail by Sanatana Goswami in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, that she was they were feeling, Krishna began to remember Vrindavan. First he spoke the names of the cows. That was a little unusual, but they tolerated that. Then he spoke the names of the cowherd boys. Oh no, this is not good. But then he started speaking the names of the gopis, and this was intolerable. And they had a big convention to figure out, what are we going to do? And they were thinking, Krishna's going to, so they were with Krishna, and they were thinking at any moment he's leaving for Vrindavan. So they were feeling the separation. So here, Jiva Goswami, he makes a comment, speaking about a famous verse spoken by Uddhava, that Yanmarta lilao paikam swayogamaya balam darshayata grihitam. That these human-like pastimes of Krishna are inconceivable. Who can understand them? They're so human-like. Visvapanam swasya cha subagharidhe. That they are so bewildering that even swasya, even he himself in his form, in his Vishnu form, or in his Dwarka form, but especially in his Vishnu form, referring to Mahavishnu, he himself finds them to be bewildering. So much so that Mahavishnu, we know, when Krishna was in Dwarka, he created this whole situation with the sons of the Brahman just to be able to get darshan of Krishna. And this was the first time that Arjuna realized who is Krishna, that he is supreme, he is above Mahavishnu. Because of his friendship, he thought that, yes, even the parents of Mahaprabhu, they thought, yeah, he's our son, and we all worship Shalagram. We worship the Lord in the form of Shalagram. And so, but they couldn't realize. So Arjuna couldn't realize who, but when he went with Mahavishnu, then he realized. So, anyway, this is so wonderful. Param param bhushana bhushanangam. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Jiva Goswami make reference to this, that Krishna is bhushana bhushanangam. He is the ornament of his ornaments. This verse is also spoken in relation to the Damodar-astakam, that Vrittam Kuntalai, that the earrings are being beautified by Krishna's cheeks. Actually, everybody else, especially the ladies, but the men nowadays, they wear little earrings sometimes. Women wear earrings, cosmetics. Because it makes you look better. But when Krishna uses something, it makes the ornament look better. So this is Krishna's supreme position. This is Krishna's beauty. Who can understand that degree of beauty? So Rukmini, she assumed a form and a mood and an attitude of service that was just suitable for Krishna's desire at that point in time. This is also our duty. But we are doing that in relation to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What is his desire? Otta eva ami agya dilun sabakare tahan jahan prema pala deha jaritari. His desire, he's saying everyone in the universe must go out and distribute these fruits of love of Godhead. And Srila Prabhupada has condensed those fruits of love of Godhead in the form of his books. And therefore, Lord Chaitanya's order is for those in this Krishna consciousness movement, we must go out and distribute these fruits of love of Godhead. He said, I can't do it alone. Of course he can do it alone. He can do anything. No. But he wanted us to have the opportunity to come to the platform of Prema Bhakti. Krishna Prema Pradayate. That's his desire. Everyone needs Prema Bhakti. And the best way to do it is you distribute the fruits of love of God. You go out on Harinam Sankirtan. You distribute Srila Prabhupada's books. You preach Krishna consciousness. This is the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not only for the brahmacharis. No. Sometimes we think, well, that's brahmacharis, they do that. I go to the office. No. Oh yeah, you go to the office, but when you go there, then anybody who's in the office, give them a book. No. That's our duty. Everywhere we go. No. Jaditakatarikaha Krishna Padeshamara Gyaya Gunu Hanyatara Desh. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave this order that we must do this. No. So, this is the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And today is the disappearance day of Sri Narottam Das Thakur, who is such a great devotee that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was with Nityananda Prabhu, and when he was leaving Kanai Natrashala, he started saying, Narottam, Narottam, Narottam. And Nityananda asked him, who is this Narottam? And he said, soon you will understand who he is. And when he reached the banks of the Padmavati river, he stopped and he said, soon Narottam will appear and I will deposit my prema here. This place where he did that is called Prema Tila. No, this is the place where Prema Bhakti was deposited. No. And the goddess of the river came out, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that I will deposit this here, and you must keep it. And when the Narottam comes, then you give it to him. And she said, how will I know who he is? And that's very easy. When he comes, you yourself will be filled with ecstasy. No, the love of Godhead contained in his heart already will make your banks overflow. And then you'll know who that is. Whenever that happens, that's the person. You give him this treasure. No. And therefore, Narottam Das himself sings, that Jaya Nilo Prema Dhana. He's speaking about two persons. Karuna Prachur, this person who brought Prema Dhan, the treasure of love of Godhead, and Karuna Prachur, and who is full of compassion. Hena Prabhu Kota Gela Acharya Thakur, Srinivas Acharya, and Ramachandra Kaviraj. He wrote this prayer after the disappearance of Ramachandra Kaviraj. And he's feeling such separation. So he was born in the family of Kayastha. Actually they're Shudras, but they're very intelligent Shudras and so King Krishnananda, Raj, he was, why would Narottam be born in his family? Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted him to be born in such a way to show his mercy. You don't have to be born in a Brahmin family to become Acharya. Otherwise, all of this whole movement will be finished. And of course, we still get some resistance about these things. But you don't need that. And so he put many of his associates, he had them be born in impious places when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. And in the case of Narottam, he appeared in a Shudra family. And so he was born, of course, like any father. His father wanted him to be, take over the family business, be the zamindar. But they saw Narottam, he wasn't interested in anything except for Shastras, and he became very expert in Shastra. So Krishnananda, he was speaking to his wife, and he said, I think we should get him married. And Narottam, he heard that, and he said, I'm leaving. And he left. And when he left, he went to this place, Prematila. And when he arrived there, the river began to overflow with waves of ecstasy. And the personification of the river came out and deposited Krishna Prema, Prema Bhakti in his heart. And when he was born, he was a little bit bluish color, like Krishna. But when that happened, he turned a golden color. So Krishnananda sent his servants, soldiers, everybody out. Let's find him. They saw him, but they didn't recognize him because he was golden. But finally, they said, we just found one golden boy rolling in ecstasy. And Krishnananda went, and of course his mother, you can never fool the mother. The mother will always know the son. So she said, this is our son. And then they realized, we're going to have to capture him, just like Raghunath Das Goswami. We have to keep him. But he managed to escape. And he went to Vrindavan. And in Vrindavan, by Krishna's desire, by Lord Chaitanya's desire, he met Lokanath Goswami. And Lokanath Goswami had taken a vow, I will never accept a disciple. A devotee only accepts disciples to further the movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But they never think that they're qualified to do this. They think, as Srila Prabhupada stated one time in the disappearance day of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he said, my Guru Maharaj has sent all of you to help me in his mission. Otherwise, Prabhupada was thinking, you are all servants of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, but he's so merciful, he sent you, his servants, to help me because I'm so unqualified. That's what Prabhupada was thinking. And imagine how difficult it was to Prabhupada. He had to declare himself Acharya. That's a very difficult thing. Usually the Acharya is, by traditional system, the Acharya is established. So he had to declare himself. So Narottam, he was very determined to take initiation. So he asked Lokanath Goswami many times, please initiate me. No, I will never accept it. No. He said it many times. So Narottam thought, how will I get his mercy? I cannot take initiation from anyone else. So every night around midnight he would come and he would clean up the toilet area, sweeping it up, cleaning away the stool, whatever was there. And Lokanath, every day he was seeing this is happening. So one day he decided, I will stay up. He stayed up chanting japa, sitting near that area, because generally you don't sit near the toilet area to chant japa. Only Gaur-Kishore Das Babaji, would do something like that. So then he saw who it was. And he said, why are you doing this? He said, because I can only accept initiation from you. So he realized he's so determined. I will initiate him. And he did. Right there, he initiated him. Right on the spot. And after that, what did he do? He sent him to Keturi. He sent him. He said, you go back home. He wrote a song saying, I went to Braj to find my Guru, and my Guru is sending me away from Braj. He could not, but he knew. He explained, you go there because you are the son of a king, and you have become such a great devotee, you will be able to convert all the people, all the common people. That's why he sent him back. So he came back and he began to preach, but there were so many obstacles, so many envious people, Smarta Brahmins, who could not tolerate him. But he converted all of them. But then there was one especially envious Smarta Brahmin, Rupa Narayan. So he spoke to the king Narasingha. There's a Shudra who is initiating the Brahmins. He has some mystical power. He hypnotizes them and then initiates them. So So he convinced the king that this man is a criminal. So the king went with many Brahmins. We will defeat this man. I'll put him in jail. No, that's what, that was Narottam. Oh, a devotee always has big challenges. No. Especially the purer the devotee is, the bigger the challenge. We can see that in all of our acharyas. No, every one of them had so many challenges because of their purity. Because they're showing that that pure devotional service is above anything, and they're showing tolerance and they're showing humility. They must show these qualities. You can never understand tolerance and humility or any of these qualities until you see them manifest in someone. Otherwise, you'll imagine that the greatest degree of humility exists in me. But then when you see it in someone superior, then you can become a little humble. So, he had two great disciples, Ganga Narayan Kaviraj and Ramachandra Kaviraj. Of course, Ramachandra was the disciple of Srinivasacharya, but he was Narottam was his Shiksha Guru and his dear friend. So they heard that they were coming. So both of them went and took the position of a potter and a pan seller in the marketplace. So then Rupa Narayan arrived with his Brahmins, and the potter was sitting there. He began to, he asked directions. How do we get to Narottam? And they began speaking in Sanskrit. Not only Sanskrit, perfect Sanskrit. Rupa Narayan thought, the potter and the pan seller are speaking so, and the king was amazed. If the simple people are speaking Sanskrit, how powerful is this Narottam? But they went ahead and they met Narottam. Narottam preached to them and they were defeated and they became his disciple. And then I'm just going to mention very quickly, of course, one of the most famous pastimes with Sri Narottam Das Thakur is the great festival, the Keturi, which was the first Gaur Purnima festival. No. Who came? Janava Devi. She was the main guest, the star guest. And what did she do? She didn't sit there and think, oh, now let everyone worship me. She cooked for everyone. No? She went into the kitchen and cooked for everyone, showing this is the Vaishnava sentiment. Not that, oh, now I'm a Brahman, I'm initiated, I'm older than everybody else, let me go to the front. No. She showed us that the more elevated you are, the more you want to serve the Vaishnavas. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his movement deals with three things: Vaishnava Seva, Name Ruche, and Jive Doya. These things progressively. You serve the Vaishnavas, then by that service you will get Name Ruchi, you will get the taste for the holy name, and from that taste for the holy name, Jive Doya, you will be able to feel compassion for the fallen conditioned soul. So, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, Sri Narottam Das Thakur, his beautiful songs, which we sing every day, Sri Guru Charana Padma, we sing every day. No. He's present with us every day. And today we remember him and his mercy of revealing the position of Sri Guru. No. And then we can remember all of his greatness. So these are just some quick thoughts on Srila Narottam Das Thakur and some thoughts on this verse. I'll stop here. Well, there's more we could say, but everybody has service to do. No. Srila Prabhupada actually, he would, like we saw yesterday, he would generally speak for half an hour. No. Generally, half an hour. From the time he began speaking, 25 minutes, half an hour. Why? Because he wanted everyone to do service. He wanted, he didn't want us to sit around and just, Krishna Katha, which is nice. We can do that. We should do that. But not all day. We are not Bhajananandis. We are Goshtyanandis. We have to serve the fallen conditioned soul. We cannot take the position of Gorkishore Das Babaji. Prabhupada said, Gorkishore Das Babaji said, if they want to go to hell, let them go. No? Because a Babaji of that level They're so absorbed in Krishna. They see everything as perfect. These people, they're suffering their karma. This is perfect. This is Krishna's arrangement. This is Maya working. Everything is perfect. Vishvapurnam Sukhayate, Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur. He says, everything is perfect within the universe. No, I don't want to interfere. But the Goshtyanandis, they feel great compassion. They have to come to the Madhyam platform. Even they may be, of course, we're trying to get to the Madhyam platform. But the Uttamarikaris, they come to the Madhyam platform so that they can distribute Krishna consciousness to the fallen conditioned soul. So thank you very much for your attention. Are there any comments or questions?
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada said Narottam Das Thakur's bhajans, they are equivalent to Vedic literatures. Achha. Now you are saying that the reason Narottam Das Thakur appeared in some other caste to show that spiritual master doesn't have to be a Brahmana. But how do we understand in Hari Bhakti Vilas, it is mentioned that one should take initiation from a spiritual master who is born in Brahmin family. The spiritual master should not be black in color. That his teeth should not
no
be,
hairs on the body.
His teeth should not be dirty. All that are there. How do we understand those statements? They're written by Sanatana Goswami.
No. Yes, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, why does Hari Bhakti Vilas say these things? Because Sanatana Goswami and Gopal Bhatta Goswami, they had to present things in such a way that the Brahmins would accept that we are giving authentic knowledge according to the tradition. No. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed by his personal example. He made Ramananda Roy the greatest exponent of rasa. And Ramananda Roy was from a Shudra family, Kayastha also. And he made Rupa and Sanatana Goswami, who had been rejected from the Brahmin caste, into the greatest, those who would reveal the Bhagavatam. And he made Haridas Thakur, who was a Muslim, into Namacharya. So he showed that even though there may be some rules like that, because Sanatana Goswami, Gopal-Bhatta Goswami, they had to present things in such a way that our movement is authentic. Of course, we know that Vishwanath, he was requested, please write a commentary, on Vedanta Sutra. And at that stage of his life, he was absorbed in rasa, in Radha Krishna. How can I think about Vedanta? So he said to Baladev Vidyabhushan, you do it. Because we had to do that. Baladev Vidyabhushan was also not so interested in doing something like that. But because of his knowledge and his learning and the need to do it, he did it. Srila Prabhupada, when he opened the temple in 1975, Krishna Balaram Mandir, he told the devotees, he invited all the Brahmins and he said, the only thing we need to do is chant the holy name. Then the temple is dedicated. But we have to follow. So, we have to do these things. But the reality is, what did Srila Prabhupada do? What did Mahaprabhu do? What did Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur do? What did Bhakti Vinod Thakur do? They guide us by their practical example and by their teaching. Yes.
Thank you, Maharaj. Initially, you mentioned about Chamar Seva, some different opinions about it. So in the same connection, I was hearing about you that you are leading communications among the devotees. So many times it happens, so all the misunderstandings, all the quarrels happens because of miscommunication or misunderstandings. there are two devotees, equals, among the equals, one person expects other will understand soon in time. Even among the senior and junior relationships, senior expects that junior will come and ask what to do, how to do. And juniors also expect that senior will correct me. So there is a lot of communication gap happens. So many times devotees, as a practitioner, I feel that time will heal everything. No need to go and explain or teach, pressurize. I expect as a practicing devotee that time will heal everything. So how we should deal with this, Maharaj? Hare Krishna.
Yes. Well, not everybody's perfect. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Manadena. You have to respect. Srila Prabhupada said, speaking about conflicts, he said, first you obey the person in charge, and then you can question. But until it's resolved, you must obey. Like if somebody's really, I don't think in most cases it's very abusive, but because of our false ego, maybe a leader will make some mistake or be a little harsh, or that may happen. But it's not all that bad, generally speaking. Sometimes it may be. So you can go to the next authority and you can question in a humble mood, in a respectful mood. This is what Srila Prabhupada instructed us. And then if the immediate authority was a little harsh, then it will be corrected. But we have to maintain that respect amongst Vaishnavas. And also, we should try to understand, by association and by discussion, try to understand why someone is like that. Because sometimes when you're in charge of something, you have to get it done. And so you have to be a little insistent. Someone is not cooperating, somebody's a little in Maya, somebody's tired. Just like one time, and I'll stop with this, sorry to go a little overtime, but Jayananda Prabhu, one devotee was sick, very sick, fever, and he was building preparing the Rat cart for Rath Yatra. So he came to that devotee, he said, Prabhu, we're missing your association. Oh, he said, yes, Prabhu, I'm very sick. He said, oh, I know that. Why don't you just come and sit on the cart? And then, we just want your association. You could bring your chadar, blanket, whatever, and you just sit there. And so the devotee came out. And he saw Jayananda working very hard, and there was actually nobody else there. So he said, oh, Jayananda, threw down the blanket and started helping. So sometimes we try to understand what is the motive. Why is this devotee insisting, or why is he dealing a little harshly with me? Maybe he has to get something done. Maybe somebody said, you have to have this done by noon. No. If you don't, then I'll get chastised. So, he's just taking the chastisement from one level to another level. No, that's all. So why does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Krishna say we have to be tolerant? Such an important thing. And if something is too much, then we bring it up in a respectful way and we resolve it. Always understanding that any devotee, unless they're deviating from the principles in Krishna consciousness, they may get something done, they may be a little bit in the mode of passion, maybe they're experiencing a slight dip into the mode of ignorance. Unless they're going down and down into ignorance, then we can understand there are so many trying circumstances that we have to go through. So in that way, we can usually resolve things. Problem is we start thinking, I'm so important, why is he treating me like this? So just a little humility, a little tolerance, generally resolves everything.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. So I've already gone over time, so I'll stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Shri SriSriRadhaRasbihari ki, Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanum ki, Shri Gaur Nitai ki.
His Holiness Guru Prasad Swami Maharaj ki jai.